Jealousy: Signs and Solutions to Deal with Jealous Feelings. Written by Lindsay Baines. Read for you by Chloe Jacobson. Introduction. So, you've met the love of your life, and you're going to live happily ever after, right? Wait, who's that one person your life partner's talking to? They appear to know each other well. They're laughing together. Oh, they're touching one another's shoulders. They can't do that. Uh-oh. Put on the brakes right there. The green-eyed beast appears to have taken a hold of you. When you saw your partner with another individual, did you feel restless or threatened that you will be changed somehow? Were you suspicious about the entire setup? Did you think as though they were laughing about you behind your back? Did you feel betrayed? Did the witch from Snow White give you a harmful apple and, after that, fled? If you answered yes, then you have come down with the powerful and often hazardous feeling called enviousness. Envious people are generally caught in an unfavorable cycle of distrust, hurt, anger, unhappiness, resentment, and even violence. It does not feel good, does it? Do not stress. You are not the only one in the world who feels that way. The good news is that you can get rid of jealousy and even use it to make a much better version of you. Are you ready to take back control of your life? Do you want to be free from all the unnecessary pain and hurt? Then now is the time to stop the cycle of negativity in your life. This audiobook can help you understand and accept envy. Recognize the signs of envy. Take control of your feelings. Defeat enviousness and its negative impacts on your life. Be empowered to use envy as a positive building block in your life. Learn how to have better and healthier relationships. Continue listening and take control of your life. Stop letting enviousness create chaos in your life. You can do it. Chapter 1. Learning more about jealousy. Congratulations! You have made the right decision to listen to this audiobook. You took the initial step to taking back your life. This audiobook will help you gain a much better understanding of why envy had taken a hold in your life. In this chapter, you'll be given a background on envy, which will lead you to get a better grasp of what it is, how, and why it happens. From when did it start, and its results on your life. In order to get rid of something, you must initially learn more about it. Learn to comprehend it and recognize why it is affecting you. So what is envy? Jealousy is an age-old, affective, and usually frustrating feeling that can influence anybody at any time in any situation. You can be old, young, wealthy, poor, female, male, the list goes on, and jealousy can still settle in you. More officially, envy is a feeling resulting from an anticipated hazard of losing something or somebody already in your possession to another individual. A lot of times it produces feelings of suspicion that you're going to be betrayed, which, in turn, spurs on your competitive side. For example, you can't really believe that your partner is just friends with his or her ex, although they're just that. Aside from that, even when there's no real competition, you then try to replicate and even upstage the ex because you think this will cause your partner to choose you over the ex. Is enviousness the same as envy? Do not confuse enviousness with envy. These two are usually connected together, but they are quite unique from one another. Envy means desiring what another person has. It usually emerges from discontent with your own circumstance. That feeling focuses more on wishing for, like seeing your neighbor's new automobile and wishing it was yours. So where and when does envy begin? Love between two people typically begins with emotions of rightness and excellence. You feel that the other individual is flawless for you, even though what you don't realize is that people can change at any time. You could have invested in your relationship for as long as 10 years. And after that, someplace down the roadway, you feel like something is different. You then start to doubt and believe that something wrong is happening. You need to realize that things and people change. Your partner could be sick of your relationship, or perhaps you have changed also, and thus the characteristics of your relationship have changed. It just depends on how you view any change to your relationship. Is envy something to be ashamed of? Yes and no. Jealousy is a natural event. It is actually implanted in human nature. It is safe to say that most, if not everyone, has experienced this emotion at one point to their lives to a degree. In little dosages, envy can even bring excitement for you and your partner. For example, you could feel flattered that your partner gets jealous when other individuals watch you walk past. You could take it to mean that your partner thinks you are stunning enough to gather such enthusiastic feelings in him or her. Jealousy can be outrageous once it ends up being persistent and uncontrollable to the person of blinding you to what's right and what's wrong. An example would be the following. You feel irrationally envious of your partner's brother or sister when they spend time together, just because you want your partner all to yourself. Why does enviousness happen? In a nutshell, enviousness takes place because we are afraid of losing what we have. It is usually a learned behavior. You shared experiences in life that have influenced and formed you to who you are today. For that reason, these factors determine how you react and feel in certain situations. For instance, you may find yourself sleuthing through your present partner's cellular phone because your ex-partner cheated on you, and you want to make sure it doesn't happen to you again. In some cases, there's a legitimate and logical reason for jealousy, but there are also times when there is only a viewed hazard of loss and there is no real cause to feel envious. It could also be caused intentionally or unintentionally. Miserable to say, there are people that enjoy making others feel envious, either by showing excessive affection towards another person or by betraying a loved person's trust just because they can. On the other hand, an individual's insecurity, low self-confidence, and general emotions of inadequacy can cause imaginary problems that result in unreasonable jealousy. Way too much time on your hands can also trigger you to think too much until you start to compromise things in your mind. Am I the only person that gets jealous? No, jealousy isn't unique to anyone. As mentioned, it can be felt by anybody associated with a relationship. Even effective the ones with high IQs, high-paying jobs, powerful positions, or even those in present steady relationships can get jealous at one point in their lives. It is all just a matter of the individual understanding to manage the emotion effectively. Is jealousy dangerous? Yes. Unrestrained enviousness regularly branches out to many other negative emotions, such as animosity, hatred, anger, rage, fear, anxiety, sorrow, and helplessness. One of the main effects of these feelings is insecurity, which is an uncertainty in oneself. Jealousy can be like a toxin to your relationships. It is a home wrecker. It is a thief of your potential happiness. Unchecked, it may even lead to physical violence. There are many cases in which people go to great lengths just to protect what they have. Some even commit murder simply because of enviousness. Do I have the actual right to be envious? Yes and no. There are times when there is nothing actually wrong, but there are also times when your instincts were right. You learn that your partner is lying and cheating on you. You really need to assess circumstances individually and see if you have a legitimate reason or not. Can I control enviousness? Honestly, it can be hard to control, but you should do yourself a favor and don't let it overwhelm your life. You have the choice to let it empower you to better yourself. There is a wealth of information and tools found in this audiobook to help you. you should use them, and you can rise from jealousy and its ill results. Also, take comfort that you are not the only one. So yes, you can certainly control envy and beat it at its own game. The next few chapters will explore and discuss in depth the many signs of envy. The few different subjects will be explained and broken down into how they manifest in individuals' behaviors, what the repercussions of these habits, and plenty of tips will be given on how to overcome these signs of jealousy. Chapter 2, Sign Number 1. Feeling unworthy of love? Just look in the mirror and be honest. What do you see? Do you see a genuinely happy person? Or somebody hiding behind a mask? Do you feel unworthy of love? This chapter will go over how your inner feelings and perception of yourself affect your relationships. When you are in a relationship, especially an intimate one, you tend to open yourself up, which can make you feel vulnerable. Finding the right balance between loving yourself and your partner can be tricky. Vulnerability leaves you open up to a range of affective emotions, and if you're inclined to feeling insecure, then you and your partner are in for an emotional roller coaster ride. Insecurity usually goes hand in hand with envy. It is when you feel bad about yourself and you try to project these negative feelings onto others. Your self-esteem is low, and in your eyes, you are not really worth much. So you always ask yourself, how can anyone love me? This quality stems from within yourself and negatively affects how you respond to certain situations. You might feel that you are not worthwhile of somebody's love. You feel that a person is always better than you, and you are self-critical. At times, you are your own worst nemesis. There are people who let their enviousness take complete control of them, that they have failed to look after themselves. They put on weight as a result of emotional eating, or they don't have the energy to get up in the morning, and they do not groom themselves anymore. Does this seem like you? On the other hand, you could learn the loss of self-confidence in yourself from your experiences. A person in your past may have treated you in a way that had emotionally scarred you. For instance, your parents might have gone through a divorce when you were young. You lived with your dad and he remarried shortly after. New brothers or sisters came along and you got neglected by your dad. From this experience, what you probably eliminated was that love is unstable, and once a person new shows up, you're going to be abandoned. How does insecurity manifest itself in behaviors? When you are insecure in a relationship, you are always scared of being abandoned by your partner. You always question yourself just because of the uncertainty in yourself. At times, you begin to feel so insecure that you just want to hide away because you feel like things are never going to get better. You find yourself always looking for peace of mind from your partner, and you always want to feel needed. Paranoia also shows up in your behavior because when you question yourself, chances are you also doubt others, particularly your partner. You are always anxious and concerned about your status in life. You always believe to yourself, does my partner still love me or not? What are the effects of insecurity? The more you really believe something about yourself, the more you believe it is a regular thing for everybody else. Could you be forecasting your negative emotions onto your partner, thus provoking your own emotions of insecurity and enviousness? Sometimes when your brain begins to actually believe something, it also starts to create pictured situations in your mind that can trigger havoc in your relationship. In this event, you're going to also block any kind of realistic explanations that do not match your inner belief system. This obviously results in communication issues. You can't have a proper discussion equals when insecurity blankets over your relationship. When open communication is bad, it breaks down the relationship and drives a wedge between you and your partner, often repelling your partner. You feel less connected to your partner, then the envy cycle starts again. Having such a low viewpoint of yourself can also be unappealing because when you have all these negative thoughts in your head, it shows in your physical appearance and disposition. Beware, the way you present yourself will have an impact on other individuals. If you think you aren't worthwhile, they might just begin to really believe you. When that happens, you begin to repel people because of your negativity. The result is you dig much deeper into your suffering and you become lonely and depressed. How do you get rid of insecurity? First, you should learn how to take ownership of your feelings. Accept all elements of yourself, the good and the bad. Concentrate on your good qualities and use these to build yourself up. You can even create a mantra like, I'm a good individual and I'm worthy of love. Say it in front of a mirror 10 times straight, 3 times a day. Ultimately, it will end up being a habit and you will begin to believe it. When you accept yourself, you should also learn how to accept others. You should understand that everybody is special and not everybody thinks as you do. Do not think that you are going to be discarded simply because your partner is talking with another person. Learn how to voice your emotions and feelings eloquently. Peaceful and calm words have never, ever damaged anyone. Motivate open communication between you and your partner. Do not be judgmental. Make a list of the advantages and disadvantages of your situation. Analyze why you are feeling that way and then make an action plan on how to deal with any problems. Try to find support and guidance from your family and friends. Let them help uplift you with their love and love. If no one is available, you can always seek counseling guidance from an expert relationship specialist. Do you have any unique interests? You can take extra classes to hone your abilities and update your marketability. Accomplishing something tangible, like completing a course, can boost your self-confidence and increase your self-worth greatly. Have you let yourself go? Were you caught up in your insecurities that you have overlooked your body? Go and register for a fitness center membership for a fast repair. Go get a new haircut and get a makeover. Being independent means being free and empowered. Learn how to depend on yourself instead of others. Assert yourself and be in control of your own life. Maybe you could sign up for driving lessons if you haven't learned how to drive yet. Prioritize yourself. Nobody else is going to do it for you. Learn to really love yourself initially and to stop counting on your partner to give you affection. Once you have done that, whatever hold someone has on you, you'll be significantly decreased. Furthermore, self-esteem is an appealing quality. Your partner will find it hot. Face your fears. Go forth and dominate this nasty monster inside you. If you feel that your relationship has reached skyrocketing levels of toxicity, do yourself a favor and give yourself some breathing room. Live your life for yourself till you learn how to be content with yourself. If your partner is the right one, he or she will be waiting when you're all set. Happiness is a choice. Choose to be happier. Call your good friends. Go out and have a good time. In moderation, obviously. You can also do other things that will bring you pleasure. Help out in a shelter or volunteer in the community. Helping another person will satisfy your need to be really wanted. You'll also see many kinds of people in different circumstances, and you may understand that your circumstance isn't so bad after all. Chapter 3. Sign number 2. Control freak. Are you the kind of individual who wants every little thing to be done your way? Do you feel the need to dictate what your partner can or can't do? Are you scared that your relationship will be in threat if you let it run its free course? Do you feel envious when your partner doesn't give you your expected level of love and attention? If these seem like you, then you may just be what they call a control freak. This chapter will explore all about control and the different ways it can impact your relationship. In personal relationships, the term control freak refers to people who feel like they have the right to control each detail of the relationship. They also have the need to mold their loved ones into the ideal partners. Here's an example. They only really want their partners to wear a particular kind of clothes, or they want to dictate how their partners show certain people. They are also under the impression that if you control people, then you can certainly control results to your taste. It provides an increased sense of power and authority, which, in turn, feeds the modified reality that they at times have in their minds. Ultimately, when they get envious when things don't go their way. Control, when exercised responsibly, can actually be a good thing. Your partner might be bad with financial resources and can't stop spending on unnecessary items. If you are capable, you may take charge of the monetary situation and control your partner's spending practices. In this case, you are actually helping your partner in a positive way. And this is a good example of control being used in a reasonable and productive manner. Still, you have to bear in mind that when you are in a relationship with a person, both of you have the actual right to be your own personality. What happens in many relationships is that, as time goes on, one of you may begin to feel as if you own the other individual and that you have the right to control each aspect of your partner's life. A quality that's typically linked to control is possessiveness. It's also originated from an important need to completely dominate others so as to control another person. It's caused by a self-centered need in people to keep their possessions, including people, to themselves. They most likely didn't like sharing back in kindergarten. Caution is suggested simply because some actually mistake control and possessiveness for love. They feel as if their partner takes care of them just because they innocently think that their partner only wants their love and attention, not recognizing that they're just being manipulated. How about you? Maybe you don't want your partner to hang out with your friends or family. Have you ever discouraged this by saying that your partner loves you less if he or she spends time with other individuals? Be alerted. You are being manipulative and controlling, and you might be destroying your relationship. How does the need to control others manifest in behaviors? The need to control manifests into so many ugly habits, such as wanting to monopolize your partner's attention, spying through their personal belongings, and isolating your partner from friends and family. You might also feel upset when you aren't being included. You grumble about your partner not spending enough time with you, even if you spend most of your time together, and essentially are just trying to run the other person's life. Controlling people also tend to have brief tempers, especially when things don't go their way. They end up being moody, highly irritable, and of course, extremely envious. They could also talk to people in a condescending way, believing that they're better than anyone. Making people feel inferior is just one of their leisure activities to make themselves feel remarkable and to make their partner more dependent on them. Control freaks typically force their partners to do something that will fit their ideal visions, even if their partners don't like it. This can be as unusual as dictating what food their partners can eat. They will use their partner's emotions and withdraw affection till their partners give in to them. They are also never at fault. If something goes wrong, they are always blaming somebody else. This is why they also have average problem-solving skills. It's hard for them to handle the emotions connected with not getting the result they had mapped out in their minds. Their normal solution to issues is to blame the other individual. What are the effects of controlling behaviors? Animosity is free to reign in a relationship where a single person controls the other, and there is no give and take. The inferior party will eventually feel suffocated and rebel against the dominant one. When that happens, what control freaks don't want to happen will happen. The affected partner will leave, and even if they don't leave yet, they will lose respect and refuse to comply with the dominant partner. Since they have low tolerance for not getting their way, they are vulnerable to catching psychological health issues like depression and obsessive-compulsive conditions. There are no winners in the breakdown of relationships and damage of somebody's health. Is it truly worth having your way, but losing what you were afraid of losing in the first place? How do you get rid of the need to control others? There is some good news. There are ways to tame down your need to control and preserve your relationship. Just admit that you're controlling. Take the step to realize why you feel the need to control. Was it because of a previous experience? If so, evaluate what occurred in the past and work out what took place and why. Understand yourself better. Recognize triggers of your need to control. Is just one of them the fear of losing your loved one? If that is the case, then you need to reevaluate your behavior. You could well lose what you are most scared of losing just because of your controlling ways. Stop. Listen. Communicate with your partner freely. Let her or him talk, and do not interrupt. You can say something later. Encourage a totally free-flow discussion with no criticism. Change your mindset and accept situations as they come. Go with the flow and be more flexible. If controllers truly, really love their partners, they will let them be free with their decisions. Partners have to be trusted to know what benefits them individually. You will be surprised. Your partner might even reward you with affection for the positive changes obvious in you. Learn to control your anxiousness by going to treatment or a support group. You can also try speaking with a person who will keep your story private. Bottling it up inside can cause you to blow up one day. Having a supportive ear to listen to your issues can also be reassuring for you. You can change the way you speak to people. You can still say your opinion, just don't force others to accept it if it really is against their views. Nobody wants to be pushed to do something they don't want to do. You must learn to appreciate other individuals. Chapter 4. Indication number 3. Caught up in the past. Are you stuck on your partner's past relationships? Do you find yourself incessantly asking your partner about them so that you can compare your relationships? Do you feel just as though you need to gauge up against the ex? This chapter aims to help you understand what took place in the past ought to stay in the past. It will explain why digging up the past isn't a good thing for your relationship and what you should do to avoid doing so. People usually forget that when they first meet their partners, that they were attracted to qualities they saw there and then. They participated in a relationship with them for who and what they were at the time, without knowing about their past. So, you should remember not to be jealous of past relationships because whatever happened back then obviously didn't work. And that is exactly why they no longer exist in the present. Then again, if your partner committed a prior indiscretion against you, then you really need to ask yourself why you still feel envious about this. There has to be a reason you're still together, right? If you made the decision to accept it, then you must follow through. Keep in mind that if something is no longer appropriate, then it won't be helpful in your current situation. How does being stuck to the past manifest in behaviors? Digging up the past actually comes from insecurity and jealousy. You are not secure in your current relationship for some reason. You are continually bringing up the ex, yours or your partner's, and hashing out each detail of past relationships. You might also keep comparing yourself to the ex. It can look like you are on an archaeological dig mission, asking your partner anything and everything about the ex, such as intimacy levels, personal conversations, what they did together, etc. You may also be unnecessarily inquiring about the ex's personal qualities. Was he or she funny, adorable, tall, understanding, rich, poor? You don't really need to know these. Then, when you undoubtedly have arguments, you can use information about the past in your existing arguments. Can you see that it is such a vicious cycle? Ask yourself why you are so fixated on the past. Is your partner doing something to make you do so, or is it just you? Why are you so scared to lose your beloved? Perhaps you also have some negative thoughts you are predicting towards your partner. What are the effects of being caught up in the past? Imagined situations could become reality. If you are constantly mentioning someone, you are keeping that individual in your partner's everyday thoughts. This is very dangerous just because you could be inadvertently reminding your partner about the good old times with his or her ex. Your worst headache just might become a reality, and your partner could return to the ex. Bringing up the past also develops a damaging cycle of minor arguments, which are damaging to your relationship. It prevents proper resolution of your issues. Additionally, when you keep comparing yourself to your partner's past lovers, you are actually demeaning yourself in the worst way possible. You could be requiring your partner to believe that you and the ex are on the same level right now. And since you are so aggravatingly insistent, he might start to believe that the ex is the better choice. How do you get rid of being caught up in the past? Stop comparing yourself to your partner's ex. Remember and understand that you're with your partner now. There is a reason they did not stay together. You are two different people. You must liberate yourself from this conduct and move your relationship back into a two-way party. Stop relating your ex to your present partner. They are not the same people. You broke up with your ex for a good reason also. Remember that whatever your ex did for you in the past didn't work or was inadequate to keep you together. Focus on the present and have regular healthy evaluations of your relationship. You could set a time and place that are just for the two of you. Talk about any questions you may have in a diplomatic way. Solve problems immediately. Don't enable them to remain. It is best to talk about any problems before going to bed. Don't go to bed upset. Tomorrow could be too late. Make a guideline not to bring up past arguments and past lovers. Eradicate them from your mind. They're a waste of your brain cells. In specific, you need to stop bringing past lovers into your present lives because they probably do not even remember you. Do not give them the power to break your relationship. Make a list of what you are skeptical or jealous about regarding the past. Show it to your partner and open a calm and tranquil discussion. Clarify to your partner the reasons you are asking. When every little thing is laid out in black and white, it is much easier to see why you are feeling insecure about something. Be open with one another. Leave no stone unturned. If people want to lay every little thing before their partners, then there are even fewer chances for everybody to compromise their stories in their minds. This will also allow trust to thrive in the relationship. Be familiar with your partner's loved ones. Your partner's support network can also provide support for you. They have loads of information about your loved one that you can access to gain a better understanding of your partner. Face your fears. What you are most scared of usually is the unknown. If you are brave enough and, if possible, befriend your partner's ex so that the unknown will become real to you. You can see up close that he or she isn't so flawless after all. Aside from that, who knows? You may even wind up being the best of friends. If you feel that your relationship has hope and you want to stick with your partner, you should learn how to forgive and let go. If you cannot let go, perhaps it is time to re-examine your relationship and find out where you stand. Chapter 5. Sign number 4, Delusional Love. This chapter will explore enviousness's ominous and darker side. Everybody gets that periodic pang of jealousy, but some people take it to the extreme. They end up being so obsessed with their partner that what used to be love can turn into something menacing. There's actually a term for this obsessive sort of enviousness: Othello syndrome. Othello was a character in Shakespeare's play. He was a terrible character who was convinced and tricked into believing his wife was having an affair. He killed her out of enviousness, but later discovered that he was wrong and that his partner was innocent. Othello committed suicide after. Psychologically, Othello syndrome describes a condition where people are delusional in thinking that their partners are betraying them. People who have this condition are usually hazardous, obsessive, and exceedingly envious. Unfortunately, people blinded by envy can't control their actions any longer. They can even reach a point where they are physically acting out the misconceptions they have in their mind. For instance, Jane enjoys her spouse, but he goes berserk when another guy speaks with her. He resentfully actually believes that she has affairs with every guy she comes in contact with. He hits her when they get to the house and tells her it is all her fault. Till one day he hit her hard enough on the head that she ended up in a coma. At times, you are better off alone than to be with a person who is remarkably envious and delusional. How does delusional love manifest in behaviors? As we discussed, the common core of jealousy-fueled relationships where one partner is delusional includes the continuous belief that the other partner is unfaithful. This results in frequent accusations of cheating. Delusional partners subject their lovers to aggressive interrogations concerning their actions, which include: where have you been? Who were you with? Why did you take so long? Who were you talking with? And so on. This manifestation results in the need to continually explore their partner's possessions to confirm their delusion of cheating. Do you always try to find evidence? Perhaps you have taken spying to a higher level and you actually appear at your partner's work environment unexpectedly, wanting to catch him or her in the act. At times, those experiencing Othello syndrome also evaluate their partner's loyalty. Their partners undergo circumstances formed and controlled by them. They generally throw obstacles and temptations at their partners to see how they would respond. An example of this would be creating an incorrect online identity and trying and talk with their partners. They would then try to flirt with them and lure them to commit infidelity. Delusional partners are also normally, if not always, violent in one way or another. They are violent mentally, physically, or emotionally. They specifically take it to heart when they view their partners are betraying them. It could be real or thought of. Are you in a violent relationship? If you are, get out now. It does not matter who the guilty one is, you need to stop your relationship before either one of you gets hurt. What are the effects of delusional love? The strength of feelings in cases of Othello syndrome slowly build up from traces of doubt to bring consumed daily by fixations to developing altered realities in the mind, causing the day when these are physically acted out. There are many serious consequences to delusional love. The primary thing that is certain to happen is total relationship breakdown. A lot of times there is no going back in these situations. A tomb and permanent consequence is the ultimate act of violence. Murder. That's what happens when delusional partners reach their snapping point. A typical trigger is when their partners leave the relationship. Since the items of their fixations are no longer available to them, then they feel that no one else needs to have them also. You can find various cases of relationships that end in murder. Like Othello, they also commit suicide afterwards just because they cannot live without their partners. Even though in some cases they don't physically hurt their partners and just commit suicide. Abuse is the normal outlet of delusional partners. Their partners typically suffer from extreme fear, sexual assault, physical injuries, emotional and psychological trauma, stress, and anxiety. The victims typically develop mental illness as they can't handle all of the abuse they get. Domestic violence is one of the most important reasons for emergency clinic visits. Another consequence is that the victimized partners are generally isolated from their family, good friends, or other loved ones. Their partners restrict their interaction with other people to the point that they lose contact with everyone but their crazed partners. Sometimes when delusional partners continuously implicate and interrogate them, the victims are forced to giving incorrect confessions just to stop all of the excessive pressure. They may concur that, yes, they are having affairs just because they are so exhausted. However, there are also circumstances where incorrect confessions lead to actual affairs. Since they are being implicated of infidelity, they might, too, really do it. There are also a lot of victims who get away from violent relationships, but in some cases their suffering does not end there. Stalking is a real issue when a relationship ends and the delusional partner is not prepared to let go. Delusional partners often end up being stalkers. They follow their victims' every action and show up at their houses unwelcome. They proclaim their extreme love for them. Stalking could go on for weeks and even years. They also feel that their victims are just playing hard to get, and that eventually they will fall back in love with them. Since delusional partners are vulnerable to rage, they at times take it out on their partner's things, or those whoever they perceive as a hazard to their relationship. Property damage can include burning down homes, keying sides of automobiles, vandalizing properties, and generally just breaking down everything that is in their path. How do you conquer delusional love? This really serious and harmful issue is hard to get rid of. There are steps that you can require to do so, but you should be serious about seeing them through. Your first step is to take a deep breath and just unwind. Then, stop the relationship. Go cold turkey from the relationship and just take a break. A volatile relationship is unhealthy and no fun for anyone. At times, breaking away is the best thing to do, just because the existing environment of your relationship may be just suffocating to both of you. Your best and most urgent objective is to look for professional help from mental health specialists, no matter if you happen to be the victim or the abuser. They will help you and could recommend medication if they identify an actual mental disorder. There is no embarrassment in this. A lot of people suffer from mental disorders and they actually become better with the right kind of help. Learn to separate reality from the make-believe circumstances in your head. Do not let your imagination run away with you. Tell someone, reconnect with your friends and family. You may be surprised at the outpouring of support you're going to get. Clarify the situation and ask them to hold you liable. You may really need to stay with them for a while so you won't quickly fall into the traps of delusional thinking. Examine your relationship. Do you love your partner, or have you violated the limits of love? You may think love is what you feel, but in fact, you are just obsessed. If you are the victim, ask yourself, is it worth it to stay? Your life might be in danger. If you feel that you can still repair the relationship, accept to go to counseling together. You have reached the point where talking between you two isn't working any longer. You really need to meet a counselor on neutral grounds. Meditate. Release all those bad feelings that you're holding in. Meditation has helped countless people attain better health, happiness, and self-discipline. Chapter 6, Sign number 5, Fault Finder. Jealousy is a vicious feeling, and one way it manifests in people is through fault finding. This chapter will look at why fault finding signifies jealousy and how you can be more aware if you are doing it or not. So, are you a fault finder? Do you find yourself chronically looking for faults in people? It might be something as basic as commenting on how funny their outfit looks or slamming the way they do something. This inherent need to find faults stems from your own insecurity, fear, selfishness, and jealousy. You feel that when you find faults in other people, you are better than them. You are feeding your insecurity at the expense of other individuals. You are also in some way attempting to justify your own faults. When people constantly find faults in their partners, they are, in a way, showing their partners that they are unsatisfactory and that they are fortunate to have them. In this way, they feel like they are keeping their partners attached to them by making them feel that nobody else will love them. Do not confuse fault-finding with healthy, positive criticism. This is when you point out mistakes in a favorable way and you give guidance for the betterment of the other individual. You should also beware when distributing constructive criticism to your partner. You really need to be sensitive and determine the right timing and settings for this to be reliable. Fault-finding. Rather than praising your partner for their good qualities, you always see their defects and imperfections. You are constantly pointing these out to the point of being obsessive about it. You will never let your partner get away with even the tiniest mistake. Nothing is ever good enough for you. It's as if you are setting up inaccessible standards for your partner, and when your requirements aren't met, you delight in telling your partner. It is just as if you want them to struggle. In addition, you always grumble about your partner and that he or she is the one to blame when things do not go your way. You might say it's because they're silly, worthless, or any other negative word you know will put them down. You blame your partner for everything, even if it's nobody's fault. You belittle your partner with every chance you get. You always have something to say about your partner's hair, body, clothes, job, and after that, you elaborate on the negative things you see in them. Efforts by your partner are also never acknowledged, and you don't stop arguing until your partner gives up and admits that he or she is wrong. You also brush off whatever your partner has to say. You believe that your partner is inferior to you. Humiliation is also typical with fault finders, simply because of their jealousy. They love to humiliate their partners in front of any person they feel is a hazard to their relationship. They want the other individuals to believe that their partners are not really good enough so that they will not attempt to take their partners away. What are the repercussions of fault finding? Fault finders are generally embroiled in drama. Their consistent nagging ways can cause their partners to lose their tempers, which cause regular arguments. Do you find yourself arguing with your partner over the tiniest little things like what color tea towels you should purchase? Partners of fault finders normally take a beating to their self-confidence. They are scared to act because of the fear of doing something to annoy their partners. Even if they are really at fault, they will become defensive at any hint of criticism, and thus preventing them from actually improving themselves. Ultimately, resentment and contempt will grow in the partners of fault finders. If you beat people down constantly, they will ultimately dislike you or perhaps hate you. They will lose respect for you and may even mock you. When your partner hates you, it normally leads to a loss of intimacy. Your partner will lose libido for you because they associate you with negative emotions. Nagging and constant criticism will trigger people to keep from you, and they will make many excuses to do so. Since your partner will be keeping away from you, communication breakdown is certain to happen in your relationship. Who wants to speak to someone who always finds faults with you? They won't want to listen to you. Eventually, all of the effects result in relationship breakdown. If you are a chronic fault finder, chances are your partner is itching to get away from you to find another individual who will give them a loving and peaceful relationship. How do you get rid of being a fault finder? You should recognize that fault finding is spiteful and malicious. Keep away from doing this in any of your relationships, particularly with your life partner. Manage your expectations. Admit that you are a fault finder. Look at your own actions and ask yourself why you are doing this. Perhaps you have a problem with yourself that you really need to prepare first. Treasure who and what you have. Focus on your partner's positive qualities and attributes. Be generous with compliments and give credit where credit is due. Understand that your partner is not the same as you. Your capabilities are different from one another, and maybe your partner is having a hard time doing something that seems simple to you. Help your partner in a loving way rather than brandying about useless criticisms. Increase your own self-regard so you do not really need to stoop down to fault-finding. Occupy yourself with other activities so that you don't have way too much time to focus on anyone else's faults. Concentrate on improvements. Make sure to use useful criticism at the right times and moderately. Nobody likes being criticized, not even yourself. Make sure to find an ideal environment and ask your partner initially if they really want advice or not. Are you with the right other half? Perhaps you are always finding faults because your partner isn't the right person for you. Reevaluate your relationship and see if you should stay together or if you really need to break up. There is no point in sticking with the wrong person. Find options to problems instead of just rehashing faults. Be efficient in your method. If you really love your partner, you would want to fix your issues so both of you can enjoy the relationship. Chapter 7, Indication Number 6, Clingy Love. In this chapter, being clingy as an indication of envy will be clarified. Is being clingy a bad thing? It means that you're just demonstrating to your partner love and affection, right? A healthy balance must actually be met between an important need to be with somebody and enabling yourself to be your own individual. Remaining in a relationship doesn't really mean you have to spend all your time together. Do you feel like you can't live without your partner to the point that you obsessively make your partner the center of your world? You are probably affected with this sign of jealousy. Clinginess also borders on having stalking habits, depending on the degree of behaviors that are displayed. The root of clinginess is enviousness born out of mistrust. Your need to be clingy normally means that you are suspicious of your partner doing something you don't approve of. You fear leaving your partner for even 1 minute because you believe that means you will be neglected out of your partner's life. You most likely believe that your partner is way out of your league and that it is exactly why you are so terrified of losing your partner. That makes you feel like you are not going to get a much better partner. You may also say that you just feel the need to be loved, but you need to understand that for love to grow, you need to give it space also. Remember that familiarity breeds contempt. How does clinginess manifest in behaviors? Clingy partners are notorious for changing their schedules around to match their partner's activities. They always make themselves readily available to their partners, even if they are in the middle of something essential. To them, their partner's wants and needs are top priority. Stemming from this, their partners initially feel flattered just because they feel crucial and feel like their partners really love them. Though way too much of something can get really exhausting in the end, they find the clinginess scary and manipulative. Partners who are clingy suffer from overstated separation anxiety and feelings of desperation when they can't contact their partners. They feel as though their world is going to end if their partners choose to do something without them. As one would expect, they cannot bear to be apart from their partners. Additionally, they generally react in an exaggerated way with anything to do with their partners. At times, they look like they are hyperventilating when they cannot reach them. They actually go crazy. Every so often, clinginess occurs because afflicted partners don't have a stable support system at a certain moment in time. It could be that they have just relocated to a new city and are far away from friends and family, thus counting on their partners for everything. Clingy people also have propensities of frequently tagging their partners on social networks so that people will be aware that they are together. They want to be connected all the time. They always call, text, drop by their partners' homes and offices, and they take each chance to be linked. They would also verbally declare their love for their partners lots of times and expect the same in return. You will normally find them to be physically attached to their partners when they are together, like always holding onto their partner's hands or hugging them even when they're already seated close together. You'll notice that this happens more when they are around people the clingy partner thinks are threats to their relationships. What are the consequences of being clingy? If you are clingy, the primary consequence is that you'll freak your partner out and frighten your partner away. Your partner might feel suffocated and get sick of you and your attention. In your partner's mind, you have become a bothersome monster. This results in losing the trigger in your relationship once you become unattractive to your partner. Also, since you are just living your life for your partner, it is a lot like you have become your partner's keeper and not your partner's lover any longer. Your partner may come to view you as a substitute parent instead of a romantic partner. When you are too available for your partner, you will certainly be taken for granted since your partner can see you anytime, anyhow. You also end up being codependent on your partner, and you lose yourself while doing so. Your studies or profession may suffer, and your relationships with your loved ones will also suffer. With your clingy ways, your partner will also begin to resent not being able to do the things your partner did before meeting you. Your anxiety out of being excessively clingy can also lead to health issues like ulcers, migraines, or something more serious. Furthermore, you squander a lot of time lingering when you could be doing something productive. The saddest repercussion is that there are times when clingy partners get drawn into a deep, dark depression because they feel that they aren't getting enough love from their partners. That often results in thoughts and acts of suicide. How do you conquer being clingy? Unbind your psychological bonds to this person and sidetrack yourself with other social activities. You may just really need some extra human contact. Respect and love yourself. Be your own person. Learn how to do things by yourself. You alone are accountable for your own happiness. Communicate with your partner and set up routine date nights to make you feel safe that you're going to see your partner again. Regularity is crucial. Understand and respect personal boundaries. Give your partner space and the chance to develop. This could be the saving grace of your relationship. You should wonder why you are so clingy to your partner and inspect your relationship. Make changes to your conduct. Chapter 8, Indication Number 7, Vengeance. This chapter will talk about how and why jealousy can trigger you to exact vengeance on your partner. Do you find yourself feeling disregarded by your partner recently? Do you feel the need to teach your partner a lesson? Revenge is a mind game aimed to control your target that is meant to give you fulfillment. The main reason that you want to take revenge is to make somebody suffer because you are suffering. So, in a way, you are acting out a mirror of your emotions. People always really want vindication when they feel slighted. It is rather a regular response. Nevertheless, it depends on how far you're going to take it. Some just have ideas, while others act on their thoughts. In many cases, you feel like revenge will give you closure. If your partner has been doing things to make you mad and jealous, do you think it gives you the right to punish your partner? Revenge is a powerful thing, and you have to be careful. You may end up regretting it. How does taking revenge manifest in behaviors? Revenge is very personal. And so people desiring revenge will try to hurt others where they will be most hurt. People suffer a lot when their partners cheat on them. It can drive them to do insane things. There are those that turn to revenge sex just because they want to get back at their partners. Some also deliberately flirt with other people in front of their partners to make them feel jealous. They also do this by taking calls and texting others while on dates with their partners. Social media also plays a huge part in vengeance nowadays. Aggrieved partners would also post a lot of photos demonstrating them having a lot of fun with other individuals. Some would even delete photos of their partners or change their relationship statuses just to spite their partners. Another way is to constantly bring up a third party in conversations and put them up on a pedestal to make their partner feel envious. Also, when people feel that their partners are ignoring them, they block their feelings and disregard their partners. They stop responding to calls and text messages. They might also switch off their phones to make their partners stress. Then they start being secretive, like not wanting to say where they have been, as they feel this would make their partners feel jealous as well. They also start to make plans with other individuals, for example, to travel somewhere without consulting their partners. There is one good thing about revenge, and this is when people use jealousy to improve themselves and increase their own value. This can be evident by an enhanced general physical appearance. They want their partners to regret hurting them. They will then reject their partners to hurt them a lot more. What are the repercussions of vengeance? Accept that everybody makes errors. You do also. The best thing is to try and resolve the issue. Your partner will most likely decline you because they don't trust you any longer, especially if they're innocent of any misdeed. Revenge, for the most part, does not result in any positive circumstances. There is no resolution, and so communication and relationship breakdown follow. Revenge will become a limitless retaliation between you and your partner. Once you have put your revenge into motion, there is no turning back. Then it has been done. The insane things you might do when you are out of vengeance might not show your true self. You are just damaging yourself while you do so. Your health could be at risk if you decide to have an affair. You need to beware because you can catch STDs. It isn't worth it. How do you conquer the need to retaliate? Promote open communication. Tell your partner how you feel and validate what's happening. At times, your perception of the circumstance could be inaccurate, and your partner is actually innocent. Spice it up and do something unusual to rejuvenate your relationship. Look for positive ways to bring you two closer again instead of retaliating. Assess your partner's behavior and see if your partner is deliberately treating you badly. If you learn your partner is cheating on you, then it's time to carry on. Learn to forgive. If you want to stay with your partner, you should learn to accept your partner as is. And when you consent to forget, you should also forgive so that you can let go of this negative energy in your life. You must learn how to have realistic expectations so that you can have peace of mind. The moment you are at peace with yourself, you will take any issues that come with a calm and cool head. You will end up being less vulnerable to have negative ideas. Chapter 9. Dealing with others' jealousy. This chapter will now go over enviousness when it originates from the opposite side and how to successfully handle it. First of all, decide if you really want to stay together with an extremely jealous partner. Do you love your partner enough to make your relationship go well? Are you prepared to make sacrifices? If your answer is no, then just get out of that relationship quickly. Nevertheless, if you are willing to make it work, continue listening. What do you do when your partner is jealous? You feel like you're not really doing anything to make them feel that way, but they still get envious. What are the steps that you can take to make your partner feel protected? At the first sign of envy, nip it in the bud. Sit down with your partner and talk it over. Clarify what's bothering your partner. It could be just a truly basic thing, like your partner felt envious earlier because your partner saw you hugging another person. What your partner didn't know, that another person was just your sibling. So there, the issue's fixed. Give your partner the advantage of the doubt. Your partner might have a legitimate point. Do not indulge your partner's irrational envy. In that case, don't be argumentative, but be firm in handling your partner so you can keep away from reaffirming any pictured perceptions your partner may have. You would actually be saving your loved one from getting caught up in the cycle of jealousy. Assure your partner routinely of your love and affection. Your partner might just really need that additional boost of loving care. Always be patient, kind, loving, and caring with your partner. Everybody loves to be flattered, so give routine compliments to your partner. It doesn't cost a thing to remind your partner of his or her fantastic qualities. Encourage your partner to engage in skill-building activities. This will help build your partner's self-confidence and self-reliance. Support your partner's dreams. Set guidelines and boundaries with one another and clarify any gray area. Respect your partner and make certain you stay within the guidelines. If you ever cross any boundary, discuss instantly with your partner. Build on trust in your relationship by spending quality time with one another. It is shown that shared experiences lead to a more powerful bond. Introduce your partner to your loved ones. This will help make your partner feel more secure. Always be sincere and constant. Once your partner catches you in a lie, it's hard to get back trust. Examine your actions because you might unknowingly be acting in a way that's triggering your partner to be jealous. As long as it's realistic, you should stop doing whatever it is that is triggering the problem. Be understanding and learn how to accept your differences. Treat your partner how you want to be dealt with. Be open with your partner. Concealing from your partner appears like such a deceptive thing to do. And this actually triggers enviousness in lots of people, even in you probably. Once jealousy spirals out of control and there is no appeasing your partner, you should know when to leave the relationship. No one deserves to be treated unjustly. Chapter 10. Letting jealousy create a better version of you. In this chapter, you'll learn how to embrace jealousy and use it to develop a better you. Now that you have checked out the different signs of jealousy, do they sound familiar to you? If any of the signs are talking to your heart, acknowledge what is happening and learn how to overcome it. Jealousy is always thought of negatively, but in fact, you can turn it into a favorable thing. It is such a tiring emotion, and you don't want to let it destroy your life forever and ever. So instead of letting it pull you down, use this effective emotion as inspiration and use its strength to make something great out of your life. You can use the tips below to help you end up being a happy, incredible, and positive person with the power to have a pleasurable relationship. Jealousy can function as a wake-up call and help show you where you are lacking. It will help you recognize how your actions impact others. And once you are more in touch with your emotions, you can be more compassionate and more thoughtful of your loved ones. You can use enviousness as an incentive to aim and work harder. When you find yourself comparing yourself to other individuals and you find something they do better than you, take it as a constructive challenge. Purchase yourself. Let jealousy push you to greater heights than you have attained before. Turn the circumstance around and let others be jealous of you. Using enviousness as a part of a healthy competition can help you do better with your studies, sports, career, and it can also induce you to take better care of your health. Many people are drawn to those who exude an aura of warmth and positivity, so turn your negative energy into positive today. Once you are more confident, You begin to organize your life and you become more independent. When it is used as a motivator, envy can help unlock unrealized qualities in you, which could actually lead to exciting new opportunities. Let jealousy help you have an open communication with your partner. Connect to your partner in a mild way, and you might be amazed that your partner didn't even recognize that you are jealous. It will help you be closer and closer when you open yourselves up to one another. Use enviousness as a reward on your part to make more efforts with your partner. Since the root of jealousy is the fear of losing someone, then you should go and aim to be a better partner. Proceed and offer your partner with a lot of love and affection. Jealousy can also help you appreciate the positive traits in your partner. Since you think everybody wants your partner, then concentrate on those qualities you think other individuals really want and capitalize on them. If then you still do not feel gratified with your relationship, take another step back and evaluate your relationship again. You will be surprised. Enviousness may actually help you realize that you and your partner do not match and that you're just squandering your time being together. This has been Jealousy: Signs and Solutions to Deal with Jealous Feelings. Written by Lindsay Baines. Read for you by Chloe Jacobson. Copyright 2020 by Lindsay Baines. Production copyright by Lindsay Baines.